What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Kind Punch Boxing News, man. And I was reading comments on my videos, and there is, the Spence versus Mikey Garcia, fight is supposed to be coming up, and then one of the comments, one of the friends of the channel, they said, I hope Mikey Garcia gets knocked the fuck out. And I don't wish that he gets knocked out, but here's my thing about it. I think that we need to stop pretending that what Mikey's doing isn't stupid. You know what I mean? We got to just stop that because it doesn't make any sense. Nobody will fault Mikey for getting beat by a bigger guy. Nobody will. But we have to look at that, like, realistically. You know what I mean? Honestly, like, he gets in there, gets just destroyed by Errol Spence. What sense would that make? You know what I mean? What sense would that make? Where he could have fought a guy his own size, and then it would be more equal because that guy's your same size. You know what I'm saying? Like, the narrative is becoming too common with fighters that's doing that. Okay? You look at Brook, you look at Khan, both of those guys. One guy got a broken jaw, another guy got knocked out completely. Okay? Khan got knocked out completely. I mean, he was out before his head bounced off the canvas. You know what I'm saying? Brook got his orbital bone shattered, broken, fractured. Right? And that probably caused him skull damage for probably the rest of his career or life, really, because he's always going to have to worry about that. You know what I'm saying? And, you look at those two comparisons, and then you look at the people that succeeded, the people that was successful with doing that, okay? You got Andre Ward, and you got Roy Jones Jr. Now, if you look at both of those guys were very athletic. You know what I mean? Just really, like, just naturally, God-givenly gifted. You know what I mean? They could move. They were quick. They had special skills. All right? Roy Jones Jr. was a special fighter. Andre Ward is a special fighter. I think Roy is a lot better than Andre Ward, but you know what I mean? Andre Ward does possess that special talent. Okay, that's special talent to do that shit. To go from 160 to 175, to 168 to 175. That's gifted talent. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mikey Garcia, I don't think has that. You know what I'm saying? He's a good fighter. But, you know what I mean? Some would even call him a great fighter. But see, here's the problem with calling yourself a great fighter. You got to make the great fighter attempts. You got to have that leap of faith knowing that you're a great fighter. Not going up and doing stupid shit like fighting Errol Spence. And Errol Spence is not anything special, mind you. But he's just a bigger dude. He's a good big guy. And a good big guy will beat a good little guy any day of the week because he's a bigger dude. Now, if Mikey was a gifted guy, like that special talent, that Roy Jones, that Andre Ward, maybe Loma possesses. You know what I'm saying? Because you look at Loma, he came from 126, then 130, then 135. You know what I'm saying? Like, but him doing that, and I know if that may be what he's trying to do. Maybe he's trying to jump 2 weight classes because Loma jumped 2 weight classes. But I don't think you need to compare yourself like that. I think you need to fight that guy because it's a realistic fight. Even if he was like, well, if Loma can do it, I can do it. Because you remember, he went from 130, 135, 140. You know what I mean? Now he's trying 147. But you're going up with the most dangerous. You know what I mean? And I don't know if he's Errol Spence is really the most dangerous. I just know he's the most avoidable. See what I'm saying? That's different. See, everyone's avoiding him, and that's only particular fighters avoiding Errol Spence. We can't act like everyone's avoiding him in the division, because it's going to be sooner or later someone comes along and says, you know what? Fuck it, I'll fight him. You know what I mean? Like Terrence Crawford. I'll fight the dude. I ain't scared of Errol Spence. And then what did Errol Spence? No, he got to come. Now I'm A-side. He got to come over here. I ain't fighting over there. You know what I mean? Those are excuses, dude. But back to Mikey Garcia, you know, he won't get any, he'll get credit if he does beat Errol Spence, but only if he does that. You know what I mean? But if the inevitable happens, the most normal thing, the most typical thing that happens, I mean, you know, you're right, and we are right to call him a dumbass. That was a wrong decision. You shouldn't have done that. You should have fought someone your own size. So we can't feel sorry for you at the end of the day for trying to fight a bigger guy. Because a lot of people's going to do that. Like, oh, well, he was much smaller anyway. Well, he knew that before getting in the ring. He knew what this dude does to other fighters. However, he is a good fighter. So this is where it gets tricky. Has Errol Spence been in there with someone like Mikey Garcia? You know what I'm saying? So if the size isn't that big of a factor, or the punching power, and Mikey can become competitive, it can be a good fight. Not saying I'm just actually just scratching it out of the, you know, of the picture altogether for being a good fight. But if Errol Spence goes in there, destroys him, we're all going to, okay, dude, he shouldn't have had his ass in there anyway. You know what I mean? Then we will know, you know. But all I'm saying is, if he does get destroyed, ran right through by Errol Spence, don't feel sorry for him. You know what I'm saying? Because he could have made his own legacy on a realistic platform. The realistic platform would have been, the route to take would have been Lomachenko. He could have fought and beat Lomachenko. People would have gave him props for that, because Loma is regarded as the number 1 or the number 2 pound for pound. He didn't want none of Spence. I've said that earlier. And then the question is, why? Why you don't want, I mean, he didn't want none of Crawford. So the question is, why don't you want to fight Crawford at all? You know? So again, and you know, I've said that earlier, you know, about Mikey, but you know, we just got to stop pretending that, you know, what Mikey's doing is so heroic. It's just stupid. It's ballsy, yeah, but it's not the smartest thing at the end of the day. So we got to stop pretending like this dude is, oh man, it's going to be a hype fight. And then we got to look at, on the other end, look at Spence, okay? Why should Spence, like, you got to look at the integrity of fighters these days. You know, if I'm Spence, I should be worried about what the fans think, because at the end of the day, the fans are the ones that pay for pay-per-view. They're the ones that fill the seats. They're the ones that give that revenue to make those fighters who they are by popularity. And the popularity depends on the fight purse. Okay, so they have to take accountability, the fighters, on what the fans think. You know what I'm saying? So I would be worried more about what the fans would think about me fighting a smaller guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, you think it's really that damn cool beating up on a smaller dude like you doing? You know what I mean? And how fast you're so quick to jump to get this fight made? You know, he calls you out. That doesn't mean you have to take it. Because you could have just said, no, man, I don't want to fight a smaller dude. Just like Loma said, man, I don't want to fight Pacquiao right now because he's old. He said that because he was worried, because that's not having honor. That's not having integrity. Having honor and integrity means you care about, first of all, you care about your fans, but you care about, you know, how people are going to think about you, because you care about yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's a reflection of yourself on making smart fights or good fights or honorable fights. That's not an honorable fight. You know what I mean? And the only reason we know that he's taking that fight is because he figures it's going to be an easier fight. And I would be more concerned about what people would think regarding that. You know what I mean? Not just to fight someone just for the sake of fighting someone. If it got that bad on PBC's side, that means you really need to consider doing something else or going to a higher weight class. Then people will look at you, you know what I mean, with some balls. You know what I mean? Because they know you're trying to take risks, because you're showing people like, hey, I don't have to stay at 147. I can go to 154. I can go to 160. I can fight on the zone, fight Canelo. I can fight one of the Charlos. I can do that. I don't have to stay at 147 waiting around claiming that there's no one want to fight me. You know what I mean? Because that's all he was doing. And we've talked about that already. But back to Mikey, yeah, I think Mikey needs to fight Loma, right? Make that fight happen. Then if he can get past Loma, after Loma fights Pedraza, if Loma gets past Pedraza, that fight should be made. Not a stupid fight like this. This is a dumb fight, dude. You know what I mean? But hey, well, I mean, good luck to Mikey, but, you know, it is a stupid fight. So let's just stop with, you know what I mean? Let's stop pretending it is not. And that's it. You guys tell me what you think about this video, about Mikey Garcia, about this upcoming fight with him and Spence. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.